And it's picked up big time since, I would say, the last 8 years, 9 years. It's now happening pretty much every night. Today I was sent three videos. The other day I sent more. It's just everywhere.
Sure. How long do you think this has been going on? Like, how long has this ultra-terrestrial civilization had these orbs around our planet? These spheres, pardon me, not orbs.
Well, the Type 3s, as I said, they produce poltergeist activity. And you can measure that by just finding out when the first recorded instance of poltergeist activity was. And that goes back to the 1st century. So it's that long.
At least that long, right? At least that minimum, you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know, just like speculatively, like how long do you think this civilization has been around on our planet?
I would say since, I think it's the same group who built the pyramids. I think it's the same group who built that, because that's the only kind of hard evidence we've seen of advanced engineering on our planet. I mean, we can't build the pyramids now. So, and also if you have a close look at them, you can see that there is evidence of advanced engineering. And if we can't produce it now, and it's the same group that built that, they probably built these. It's just they moved to an area that's a different part of the world. Simple as that.
Do you think, or have you seen any evidence of any advancements in these spheres, or have they been, quote unquote, the same models since day one, you think?
It's actually, I mean, to be honest, I mean, since I've been studying it since 2015, they look to be generally the same. But although I can't say publicly, there is other stuff going on in the background. I don't just write books. There is evidence of constant upgrading and adaptation as well.
Yeah.
Because people think this is like an ancient system that's been here forever and it's a relic and stuff like that. It is not. It is not. It's fully up to date and adaptive. So it has to be. So this system is fully up to date. New ones are being deployed. New variants are being deployed. Upgrades are occurring. They're expanding in numbers. They're everywhere, and it's just the fact of life now.
Where do you think these spheres come out? Like, where's their home base, or multiple bases? Like, where are they coming out of?
Well, I mean, how it operates sort of architecturally, this system is ground based, so it's controlled from the ground up, which means that we probably have infrastructure deep underground or in mountains. I think Skinwalker is one of them, because when doing tests at Skinwalker, not only are they seeing these spheres and also are seeing the same formations, they're also picking up gamma rays and microwaves, which is what we're picking up in buildings. Just they're picking up much higher energy levels. In fact, I think it was Travis who he pulled a lid off a hole.
Travis Taylor.
And he got radiation poisoning and he was sick for like a couple of weeks. Well, that was a Type 3. And you can see it was, because if you boost it up, you can see the sphere in the hole flying away just as he lifts it up. So,
oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay.
The thing is that these things use holes in the ground, what was covered by metal. So it's doing its relaying. And when he lifted the metal up, he got a hit of it. And that's why he was sick. So these things have been here for forever, and they're basically built. Well, I don't know if they're built underground, but they're certainly controlled from underground.
Sure. What do you think this species looks like? Like, how would you describe them? That's controlling these.
The tests that I've done. I mean, I got that video that I showed you of the tunnel. So I come up with a theory of how I could spoof like a engagement. So I kind of figured, well, what are these things looking for? You know, so they're looking for other craft, right? So why don't I just spoof them with one? So that's what I did. I went to a remote area in the middle of the woods. About midnight, it was pitch black. I made this little strobe unit that the light signature is in a certain way. It can't be sampled, so it makes it kind of unique. And within a few minutes, I think it was, this guy walked up on us, and he was caught on camera. And it all happened so fast that We barely noticed it. What I kind of noticed is that these guys are using like a localized time dilation, which means that to them we're all in slow motion. They can just walk by you and you're just like in freeze frame. And when you think about it, that's probably the safest way to walk among us. So in fact, I think it was Lou Elizondo who mentioned that if you use high-speed cameras, you might be able to see something, and that's what we did. So yeah, in that demonstration, this guy with big eyes,
the strobe light, right?
Correct.
And I can show that video, right?
Yeah.
Just making sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah,
how
I'll put it over here in the final edit. Yeah.
Yeah. How the strobe works is it introduces noise into like a stealth system. So if they're using like optical stealth, right? What that means is they're taking light photons and hitting them, and then they're redirecting and bouncing off the back, right? Or reprojecting. So what the strobe does, it introduces noise into that. So what it does, it burns through the stealth, allowing reflection, because the actual the technology can't keep up with the constant changes or variance in the light. As a result, you can spot them, and that's what I've done in the tunnel. And also, a guy did it in his house, and he had to go to a mental home afterwards.
And so, how would you just like? Because everyone may see it the way, their own way of seeing it, like more gray type, like the typical gray that we're used to seeing. Is that more right?
Typically,
what you think it is? Yeah,
largely,
typically that.
Like
do
big eyes.
Do you think that's the only version?
No. I think I mean in my video that I made, the full version of it, you see other groups as well, not just one particular. It's just the one I show is the clearest one, but you can actually see other versions, and it appears to be very multicultural. It appears to be these big gray guys, big eyes, little ones, also people who look like us, but slightly more, I would say, more evolved. People with elongated heads as well.
Yeah.
So that's another thing is that during one of our tests, I got hold of an image of like a thermal image, and it looked like a guy walking down the stairs with an elongated head. So these elongated head guys are actually, I think, they run the show.
Wow. Yeah, you shared a picture with me, and I saw a picture of this elongated skull, which I'll put on the screen now. I am curious. Like anytime I hear ultra-terrestrial, I always think, well, what are they doing day to day? Like, what is their purpose what are they doing all day? Do they have a civilization like we do, like school and art and entertainment? People have jobs, and like, what's their society look like? Like, what are they doing all day long?
I have no idea.
But you think they have these underground living structures, Yeah, no, absolutely. It's definitely a fascinating theory.
I think they're mostly in remote areas like woodlands, actually, or forests, stuff like that. And I think people who accidentally stray into them or stray into them or get too close, they disappear.
The people disappear. The human being disappears.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Do you think they disappear into their civilization, or?
I have no idea.
Like,
but they disappear.
What do you mean disappear? Like just gone somewhere else? Just vanished? Okay. Yeah. No, that's.
Which is consistent with what happens in your national parks.
All the missing people and things like that. Yeah. The missing 411 stuff. What like. So they created these spheres to protect the planet. Is it more about protecting the planet or humanity? Or
no, it's protecting themselves.
Protecting themselves on this. We just happen to be here, right in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay, see, that's interesting.
So if you think about
it has nothing to do with us. They're not like, oh, let's build these spheres to protect humanity. They don't really care.
Well, no, it's a bit more than that. So if you think about it this way, if you have let's say an ultra-terrestrial group under the ground, okay, and their IQ level is about 250, maybe 300. Human IQ levels between 50 to 100, okay? We're on the surface, okay? So you got to say, okay, maybe in our history or in our history, they created us, but like a much lighter version of themselves. And you ask yourself, well, why? Why would you upgrade a primate? What's the point of upgrading a primate? Because that's what it sounds like they did. Well, what were we before humans? We were Neanderthals. And what was a Neanderthal? It's like a superhuman, super strong, super fast, like Superman, literally, like highly survivable, very aggressive, brutal killing machine. So then you think about this. If they're underground and they put these guys on the surface, what are we? What is our function?
I don't know.
We are the last line of defense.
Oh,
The
interesting.
spheres are the first line. We're the third line.
I see. For anything
we control access to
coming
their
out. Okay. Do you think they do it because they've had wars with other civilizations on other planets?
Well,
maybe?
if you look at the solar system, for example, our solar system, you'll notice there's a lot of asteroid belts. And you'll notice that they are in orbits, which would signify that they were once planets. And then you look at Mars, and Mars looks like it's been through a nuclear war of some sort. And then an image came out of Earth, which, if you remove all the water, Earth looks like it's had a huge lumps taken out of it. So you've got to say, well, this looks like a war zone. And it looks like they fled from Mars or wherever they came here, went underground, and then created a surface army, which is what we're like, the private army, to keep an eye in the sky. And also, what do? We fight in swarms. You know, that's what humans generally do. When they see a threat, 100 people will get together and run at it. That's exactly what a private army would do. So, and I think over the years there has been obviously changes and upgrades made to the population, but we still have a function, and we serve that function. And I think the kings don't talk to the slaves, if you want to put it that way. When you know, I think government itself is between a rock and a hard place. I don't think the ultra-terrestrials actually want us to know, because it serves no purpose for them or for us, to be honest. If you can imagine, like the primate domain, for example, thinks that they're king of the jungle, right? But the primate mind couldn't survive in the human domain. He wouldn't comprehend it in any way, shape, or form. So it doesn't matter how hard a primate or the primate species bang on the door of humanity, it won't open. It won't, even though they see our airplanes flying over every day, and our boats and us in all sorts, and they see us walking around. The domain is close to them, and it's the same really with, as I said, I think it's the same between us and them, because our IQ levels are just too low, and we're too reactive. And on the bright side, I think the way out of this is through Neuralink, through Elon Musk Neuralink, where you actually combine machine intelligence with human intelligence. So your IQ will jump from, say, 70 or 100 to maybe 500. And I think that's the way forward. I think, and then of course with nanotechnology, and it would be developing as well, the human body will be super fit, super strong, and we wouldn't have to go to the gym for one day. Wouldn't have to do it. We'll just drink a drink and it'll just do it all for you.
Yeah.
So that is why I think the only way out of this really is to upgrade humanity, which is what Elon and others are doing.